Hi, hello. If you're new here, welcome travelers. If you're new here, my name is Brenna. I am your broken free from restraints DM. And welcome to
Those
Tales from the
pearly
Catacombs.
whites.
If only they were pearly and white. But they are something, and they are free. This is our tabletop RPG adventure that we are thrilled to share with you. This game uses the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition system and rules, and the setting is a homebrew based on the rock album Razia's Shadow by Forgive Durden. Before we get too lost in our adventure, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a little comment below that helps the fun algorithms and such. Answering the following question. What is one goal that you have in the new year? Without further ado, please enjoy this session of Razia's Shadow, a 1,000-year interlude. Let's recap. Session 41, the Hidden Colony. The Vivere stepped back into the mortal plane and found themselves in a swamp, which seemed to indicate they were sent where Leandra promised to send them. 3 of the 4 of them received sendings from the tricky tabaxi Helena Fresca. Beau's message was the most frightening. He had a location where something devastating was bound to happen. Ste'yn noticed an odd hazy point in the distance. Before the Vivere could explore it, they were attacked by a group of bullywugs. They made short work of the monsters and met an inhabitant of the swamp as they rested. Pernorin, a furbolg, welcomed them to rest in his home. It didn't seem he needed the passcode, but he accepted it and recognized it as a name. Captain Nora Isalin's name. The Vivere took the opportunity to rest. They shared dinner with Pernorin and his wife, where they learned about a sickness in the swamp. They agreed to help find the source and stop it, and a sentry of the village named Dakian agreed to help them with a transportation spell to take them to Loria in Eustrum Mine, far to the north. The night passed peacefully. Even Ste'yn finally slept alongside her companions. The morning came, and Ste'yn slept through breakfast and early preparation. But when the others finally chose to wake her, she wouldn't rise. So, you guys are back in the guest hut. It is fairly spacious in there. There's room for plenty of other travelers who might have found their way into this colony, but currently it is the 4 of you, only 3 of whom are conscious, as Ste'yn is unmoving in her bed. Eyes closed, not responding.
Nose poking her.
Is anything happening from doing that?
It does not.
Well,
Maybe pour water on her face?
Viola gets out her canteen and pours a little water on Ste'yn's face, being careful to avoid her nose and mouth.
Drowns
Viola takes her canteen rather than, I'm pretty sure there were some pitchers of water and such in the room for you guys, and she pours it onto Ste'yn, who does not appear to react other than now having little droplets of water in her beautiful lashes.
Ritually cast Identify on her.
There are no spells affected.
Well, does anybody besides Ste'yn have the ability to message our friends that gave her the stuff that made her not sleep for so long?
I can.
That was a you can't or a you can?
Can't.
Okay. Well,
Says begrudgingly.
If you let me sit on it for a really long time, I could figure that out, but it wouldn't be a today thing.
well, I guess if she doesn't wake up for now, we just carry her along. I'm assuming she didn't sleep for multiple days, so maybe now she just needs to sleep for a whole day?
We can always get a wheelbarrow.
She's not that heavy. Surely I can just carry her.
She's in medium armor. I feel like that's gonna be quite heavy.
Hey, I'm
Plus-
pretty
Plus her
strong.
plus her other possessions. I mean, you might be strong, but it's a couple hours to get to the point we're going. You think that she
And
can
what
hold them
happens
for
if we're
that?
attacked during those hours that we're traveling?
Maybe the threat of danger will wake her up.
I mean, if that's the case, then we could just make it dangerous here, in a more safe environment. I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts on her to see if I can read her dreams.
Okay. You're looking at surface level thoughts?
Yeah.
Or you're trying to dig deeper?
For surface level to begin with, at least.
Okay.
What's going on in there?
You cast Detect Thoughts, kind of peering a little bit past the blissfully calm haze of Ste'yn's mind right now. And it is just very, very quiet. It is unusually quiet. It is still and calm. Sometimes the way Ste'yn might try to present herself, but certainly not how she was presenting herself the last few days. Yeah, it's just an unusual stillness, as if there are
Okay.
no surface anything going on.
Then we'll dig a little deeper.
Okay. Ste'yn, can you please roll that save with disadvantage, please?
That was a 2 for a total of 10. She's great at wisdom saves.
So, Snow, you recognize that there is some type of, that surface level kind of veil of just quiet and calm, this unnatural, but not scary. It's not intimidating. It's just calm and just kind of nothingness. You force your mind past it to see what else is digging deeper in there. And the sensation changes from a stillness, a nothingness, to some kind of vibrancy. It's a little hard to tell whether or not it is good or bad. It's almost like there's a clash going on. These kind of warring sensations of an eager, positive energy and potentially something trying to stifle that, to stop it and maybe kind of overcome it. Ste'yn, as you are peacefully asleep, not realizing you have kind of a tag along in your inner thoughts here, you remember falling asleep. You remember lying in the bed and it was relatively comfortable, relatively cozy. You guys kind of have a path, which is always nice, and you finally let your body just relax. Your whole sensation, your whole being just kind of melted into this puddle of stopping. Everything is just kind of stopped for the first time in, you realize you can't even imagine how long. You're just still. You hesitate to use the word peace, but you are still. And in this stillness, this darkness that's around you, coming from somewhere near you, you can't tell if it's in you or in front of you, but around you, there is this one bit of light. And it feels inviting. As you sit there with this light in front of you, in you, somewhere, just kind of encompassing you, it feels like someone sitting there with you, keeping you company. And you get this sensation in you that makes you feel like you've been invited to pray. Do you take that up? Do you have something that you kind of want to speak out loud if you knew she was probably sitting there ready to listen to you?
Yeah, she'd ask, where do we go? What do we do? Why? I just start spilling out one after the other.
These questions kind of start falling out of your mouth. You kind of imagine it might have been a chaotic, a hectic kind of feeling, but again, there's just this kind of forced calm about you. But the questions keep coming until it feels as if someone holds a hand up to you, and it's okay to pause and give a moment for an answer. You hear this soft, gentle, almost chiming, playful voice. "I've missed you, sister. Finally." That's all she says for now, as if she didn't hear your questions.
What do you mean, finally?
"I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you to come to me, not the other way around. I keep losing track of you, but it's much easier if you find me. Don't you think, sister?"
In a way, I think it's felt like I've been trying to find you.
"It can feel that way. I wish it were easier. But it has to be your choice. You have to look. You have to come home."
Where is home?
And you can feel a smile. You can't see one, but you can feel it. And it's not antagonizing. It's just that playful little sister kind of smile. You feel a hand on the top of your head again, in a very familiar way.
Home has a way of following you. It has a way of showing up. It has a way of being where you need it to be. If you're looking for it, it's not always what you think it is. It's not always a front door, not always a room you remember when you were young. It's not always a temple door either. Sometimes you have to just sit still, see who's with you, see where you are. You might be there already.
I'd like to find out.
She nods.
I'd love if you came home with me. I'd love to have my sister with me, finally.
Is that an option?
Of course it is.
And she giggles.
It's all I've been waiting for.
How do I go home with you?
Well, first things first. You have to be looking, and
First, you, Ste'yn. The conversation continues. Snow, are you continuing to use the medallion? I realize I don't know how much time went by, and I think you get like a minute per charge or something.
Yeah, this is interesting. So he'll spend another charge.
I feel like that might have been like 2 charges there.
Okay.
If you want to use the third.
Sure.
Okay. Ste'yn, you do feel like there is an additional presence, almost like an audience to your conversation with Atala. How do you react to that one? Do you allow it to stay? Do you push back for some... Okay.
She's much more focused on the conversation than what's going on around.
And it continues.
and you have to fall first.
And she says that you almost anticipate some other shocking change in the scenery as you had seen before, and it doesn't happen. It's just what she said.
What do you mean by that? You said it before and I don't understand.
It's difficult. It's tricky. It's a little scary sometimes to finally find what you're looking for. But if you want to know the how and the why and the what, well, going to have to brace yourself. It's a lot to know. I don't know if you're ready.
I want to be ready.
Okay. If you mean it.
I do.
Well,
She looks up for a moment. You get the sensation of upwards. Everything around you is the same. Do you follow where she's looking?
Yeah.
And you look up and you see the darkness first, and then kind of like a splitting veil, you see sky. It's evening, a familiar set of stars, and a familiar area from a long, long time ago. The sky that you recognize from up north, from where you're from. But it's not that same kind of memory you keep getting at the funeral. This, you feel much smaller, much more vulnerable. You feel like a very young child yourself. And you are alone in wilderness. Your hair dark, brown, and long behind you, as it once was. It's been a long time since you've thought of your hair like that, and your playful little arms reaching up to things. And then you hear something snap, like something stepping on a twig. But it's loud. Whatever it is, it's big. Something from darkness, from a shadow in front of you, steps forward. It's hard to make out exactly its shape because it's as dark as the shadow. It's as dark as midnight. And whatever this thing is, it has its eyes set on you. It prowls closer. It doesn't hesitate. It kind of bends down. It's these almost big cat kind of arms, bending, ready to leap out and strike. And you, fearless as you are as a child, hold up some playful stick thing, ready to fend it off. And then it leaps. Snow, you watch as this thing, it's kind of an odd sensation of watching it kind of through Ste'yn's eyes and sort of watching as an audience to Ste'yn. Ste'yn, what is your AC without your armor?
12.
Snow, you watch as this creature that has been prowling and right towards her leaps out, and you see these tremendous jaws that look devastating. They're practically as big as this. You're kind of looking at this short little toddler-aged child, and this creature is assuredly about to snap down on it as the magic seems to dissipate and pulls you back. Ste'yn, what you feel and what you see are these jaws. In one instance, it feels like a game, and in the next, I'll find out shortly. Back in the hut, Snow, you've returned to the others in a few minutes. Mind back with them. Ste'yn doesn't look any different as she's laying there.
So are we just gonna like sit around and wait for her? Are we gonna try to like do something else? Or we're gonna ask someone smarter than us if they know what's going on?
I think we should just push her in a
Where?
wheelbarrow where we want to go.
That's not a good idea.
Why not?
Do you realize how much trouble we attract on a daily basis when we walk around? Would you want to be unconscious for all of that?
We do sleep while we're moving about.
I mean, usually I'm more or less in the same place when I sleep, but nevertheless, when we do sleep, we take precautions. And if we get ambushed and she is unconscious, that's not safe for us or her.
Well, why are you assuming we're getting attacked?
Because we get attacked like every week.
Well, I recall a conversation where we wanted to be cautious, and you said we shouldn't act like that. So I think we should get a wheelbarrow and push her.
I do believe you said that fighting isn't always inevitable. Or something of the like.
I have no idea. That wasn't today.
Beau's gonna go find a wheelbarrow.
You head out of the guest hut. There's a bit more activity happening in this little colony. You know there are various people who work various jobs, one of which is surely something involving harvesting and such. Someone's bound to have something. You can walk around. Are you just gonna walk around kind of aimlessly searching, or are you gonna ask someone, or?
I mean, I'll ask somebody if he can tell that there is a potential they have it, like if they're farming or something like that.
You don't see anyone like that immediately, but as you go further towards the more kind of market-y side, or commercial, you might say, but none of it really feels like that. Yeah, you pass by one of these elevated homes out of the mud. You can see it's kind of lined with some drying herbs, and you can see some tools that look like they're kind of neatly set aside, maybe a little dirty from recent use. Looks like it could belong to a gardener. There is someone out there, one of these furbolgs. He's sitting in this rocking chair on his front stoop and kind of cleaning off one of these gardening tools.
Hey, do you have a wheelbarrow or something I can borrow?
Borrow? What for?
To push someone.
Someone or something?
Someone.
Well, that's odd. Are they hurt? Do they need to see a healer?
No,
We've got
they're
those
just
too.
sleeping.
Oh. Sounds relaxing. Are you gonna push them around the village, or are you gonna go outside with them? I don't recommend that.
Yeah, we have a place to go.
Oh.
But we're
Well, are we
coming
getting it
back.
back? Oh. Okay. Well, if I'm getting it back, then I'll only charge you for a temporary fee. A borrowing fee.
And that would be...
See, my very sturdy wheelbarrow. Been in my family for generations. Maybe 15 gold pieces.
Homeboy is crazy.
I mean, you can buy one for less than that.
Ah, but you can't buy one that's got family history behind it.
Is
gotta
there
sit there
somebody around here
stroking.
that doesn't have family history with their objects?
You won't find that here. We're all fairly connected.
It would bring it down if I said we were going to take care of your monster problem.
Monster problem.
Something by
Oh,
some big tree.
Oh, I see. We could talk about that. What would you say instead? Since you are doing a bit of a favor if you are going out there.
How about 10 silver pieces?
10 silver. How about 20 silver?
Sure.
Excellent. Then you can borrow it. He holds a very, very
You got
large. palm
13
out to
gold
you.
pieces off the price. So.
You hand him 20 silver.
Yeah.
Okay. 20
And-
silver it is. He nods to you and gets up, and he's a solid 2 feet taller than you are. on very casual clothes that are clearly stained with swamp mud and such. He goes around, there's kind of a walkway around the main house, disappears behind the back, and you hear the sound of the wheel going over each one of the planks on this little walkway as he brings this large wheelbarrow back out to you. It is dirty as if it were recently used. Sorry, we've been busy lately. You can wipe it down. It shouldn't hurt anybody. But cleaning it for you is extra. And he gives a little
That's
laugh.
fine. And Beau will take it and start pushing it away, and while he does, he'll use prestidigitation on it.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to get it sparkly clean. Still, it has a little bit of, just it's worn down over time. So a little rust looking on the metal, but yeah, you got yourself a wheelbarrow.
All right. And I'll take that back to them.
Okay. While he's out fetching a wheelbarrow, were you guys planning to do anything else in the guest hut?
Viola will try smacking Ste'yn around a little bit more. Maybe try to peel her eyes open.
You try and force her eyes open, and they do open. Viola may not know this, but generally when people, humanoids, at the very least humans, sleep, their eyes kind of do that little shifting back and forth. And hers appear to not be doing that. She's just kind of dead eye staring up at you as you open her eyes. These dark pupils, these dark irises looking up at you.
Have
That's
we
a little
taken
eerie.
her pulse yet?
Have you?
Yes, he is alive. I was
You
reading
try.
her dream for 3 minutes.
You were what?
I read her dream for 3 minutes. What do you think I was doing?
I don't know. Just hanging out,
That's fair.
ruminating.
Viola is trying to see what might work and having this brief conversation with Snow. Ste'yn, in
Yes,
this
ma'am.
once very peaceful, and now, if you were cognizant enough, you'd recognize another element of that. The warmth versus something kind of shocking it and jarring it, almost trying to overwhelm it. This creature, this prowling beast, has leapt at you, mouth wide, long, piercing teeth. It's slobbering just more black spittle as it tries to clench down on you. And you, in your playful way, kind of dodge aside from it. But that only works once. You're just too little. And this creature is too quick, too big. And before you even have time to turn around, there is a tremendous pain. It is nothing that your lack of experience in life in general has ever or could ever fathom, and you can't move. It has a hold of you. Everywhere that you are pincered, it doesn't just hurt. There is some kind of burning. It's not this just superficial thing either, the sensation. Where it seems to burn the most starts far, far more inward than even outward. As you can't quite make heads or tails of what is happening, there is a flash of light, something that completely blinds you, and for an instant, all of that pain is gone. Give me a perception check.
24.
The flash and the warmth, and when the pain dissipated from you, again, started from the very top of your head, like a hand, a presence. And in a moment, you find yourself sitting again in this darkness with this emanating and encapsulating light around you. You don't feel pain, and even the memory itself feels more like it was told to you secondhand than something you truly remember. And you can hear Atala's voice again.
You see, it's very scary to know the truth.
So that's what happened?
You can feel these intent eyes on you, even if you can't see them.
Do you remember?
Like it's something someone told me.
So you don't remember. That's okay. You've only just started talking to me again. It's been a very long time. But if you come back, if you find me some more, if you'll pray with me,
Absolutely.
I'll hold your hand. I'll make sure you're not too scared. But there's more to remember.
Thank you. I want to know. It feels important.
Her smile went from eager to a little bit more solemn, and she's slowly nodding.
It's important, but if you don't want to know, you won't know.
I want to know. I want to know the how, the why, the what, so I can know who I am and why and where that will take me.
Well, one thing I can tell you, it will take you to the light. It can fix so many things, but it is very scary.
Getting to the light is worth any fear.
I hope everyone feels that way.
Maybe if I do it, I can show them how and let them know it can be done.
I think all 4 of you are well on your way to that. One of you may be a little more than the others. I think you'll be a great help to each other, like a family.
They do feel like family, I think.
You'll figure it out, and I will hold your hand the whole way, as long as you remember to sit still.
I'll do my best.
I promise it won't be boring, because we can also play.
They've been teaching me what fun is.
And there's this giddiness in the light, a very childlike giddiness. And you, for just a moment, can kind of imagine if Rosie had a chance, she would giggle like that. As you're basking in this kind of budding joy, and you still feel in the background, there is some tension still all around you, this warring of these feelings. Back outside of Ste'yn's head, Beau makes his way back with a wheelbarrow.
Right, Viola, load her up.
Viola will start to pick up Ste'yn and try to put her in the wheelbarrow. While she's doing that, she's gonna say, "How was it? Was like a day's journey away, right?"
He said it was a few hours. He said you can go there and back within a day.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely think we can at least go halfway with Ste'yn. I don't know if we want to go all the way. We'll have to make sure we're being careful once we get there, but
So she loaded
that's all
up
I
and
had
we're
to
good
say.
to go?
I'm assuming so, since I didn't have to make
Yeah.
any sort of strength
That's
or
why I was
athletics
asking
check.
Braden.
Oh, you're gonna load her up?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you
I
said
said I was loading her up.
Oh, perfect. I'm sorry, I was trying to quickly take a note. Excellent, yes. With Ste'yn's fantastic dead weight, yeah, give me a strength athletics check, please.
can
As you've been
Beau
trying
be
to
helping
yeah.
by
drop her.
Can Beau be helping by keeping the wheelbarrow, holding
I
on
already
to
have
it? so it doesn't
advantage on
scoot away?
athletics traits.
Okay,
I already
well,
have advantage on
you're
athletics.
more helped.
You're helped further in spirit.
Not quite a 20. 25.
Yeah, you've helped Ste'yn a number of times too when you guys have been together, just the 2 of you, and she's found herself exhausted. You've helped her. You can kind of get her balance and ease her into this wheelchair. There's no way to make her look graceful in it, but she is not crooked and awkward in the wheelchair or the wheelbarrow.
If only we had a wheelchair.
That would be something.
That would have been much better.
That would be something.
Dan
You
Carter.
didn't ask for a wheelchair. You asked for a wheelbarrow.
This place
Um,
didn't seem like it had the medical necessities of a wheelchair. But wheelbarrow, I thought checked out.
Ste'yn is now in a wheelbarrow, dozing along.
All right.
Well, we're off then, right?
Yeah.
As they begin to go, Viola is gonna smack Ste'yn on the cheeks a little bit every now and then just to see if she'll wake up.
So wait, is her head towards the handles or is it away from you?
I
Okay.
figured it was towards the handles so that
Oh,
way
okay.
she can see
So
where
her
she's
feet,
going even
so
though
her
she's
feet are
asleep.
dangling in the front, and then her head's over by the handles.
Yeah, so then while Viola's carrying it, she can stop, smack, and then pick up and go again.
Okay.
I think the jostling is enough. You don't need to bruise her cheekbone.
I'm not bruising her. I'm smacking very lightly. I wouldn't damage her pretty face. Trust me.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. This is the best we've ever seen Ste'yn. This is Ste'yn at her finest.
You thought
Yeah.
she was pretty before. Look at her now.
Country
literally
She's
Ste'yn.
has-
really pretty.
Yeah.
I hate it.
She has people who are...
Viola dumps the wheelbarrow over. She heard the pun in
Somehow I
Ste'yn's
just
thoughts.
know. Ugh.
I
Not
just know
anymore.
she's saying puns.
You guys start heading out towards the front of the colony. You're not too far away in the guest hut. You do see a couple of unfamiliar sentries who appear to be doing their route. They see you. They see Ste'yn. They look back up at Viola, who is, I imagine, carting Ste'yn. Give you a very questioning look.
Don't
it
worry,
clearly...
she's alive.
We got this on rental. We'll be bringing it back.
She's just sleeping, but we have places to be.
Uh-huh. He
We
looks
keep
confused.
a tight schedule.
Did you want... Okay. Oh, all right. City dwellers. And he kind of lets you on your way.
Snow is walking beside Ste'yn in the wheelbarrow and softly telling her stories.
Now, when you exit the colony and you cross back over that bridge, you can, and the haziness is behind you, you may recall, I think, that there were kind of two more direct options as far as a path that you could go. Otherwise, you're walking through the swamp. Do you know?
I mean, I
Where
believe
you
you
are
told
headed
us when
and-
we were at the dinner, because he was describing the tree and all this other stuff. So he told us about things. Beau brought out a map at a point, because that came up.
Yes. So I believe, if I recall, he said there was a northern path that you could take with one set of obstacles. You know, it's you know, you can pick which way you want to go. The northern path is a little less direct, but it will get you there. There's just other, you know, follow the river and find this
We'd probably
bridge,
take
cross
whatever
the
he
bridge.
described as the safest, considering one of us is sleeping.
Yeah.
Fair. I would leave it to you. I don't think he would have a thought one way or another. 'Cause both, he knows, you know, there's dangers in the swamp. So there's either the northern path. It's less treacherous physically. There is a bridge up in that direction. It just takes you very close to one of the large bullywug territories and some other things in the area. And then the western, like a direct western path, is the most direct, but the landscape, the terrain itself is more treacherous. It'd probably be pretty difficult to get a wheelbarrow through the western way.
But we'll leave that up
It's
to
just more
Viola,
direct
because
and
she's the
faster.
one pushing.
Do we think we can handle bullywugs without Ste'yn?
I mean, I think so.
But I'm fine with going that way.
You recall, if you're going to head north, just stay along the river path and you should be good. If you lose sight of the river, you're probably too far north and heading into bullywug and other creature territory. There are other inhabitants of the swamp that can be pretty territorial. So you start heading in a northward direction. It's not a very, very long journey, and this does appear to have a lot of that more stable ground, at least as you begin. You pass by the area you had first plopped into from the Fey realm and go even further beyond there. You kind of start to note, after a little bit, Viola, you start to have some trouble with the wheelbarrow as some of the ground does catch you by surprise, that it's a little more soft than you recognized. There are more spots as you go that it's no longer that lighter, more dry, easily spotted ground, but a lot of it now just looks very dark, moistened, and some areas seem like it's almost impossible to tell, like where there's kind of flat footing versus some spots where the ground just seems ready to grab at your boots or at the wheels of the wheelbarrow. Still, if you stay along the river, it doesn't appear to be too much of a difficulty. I need all of you to please give me a survival check, if you would. Not you, Ste'yn. They'll do it for you. You're
I
good.
got a nat 20.
14.
30-20.
As the ground is getting darker and you are kind of trying to feel your way through, are you guys kind of walking all together? Do you have kind of marching orders here as any kind of strategic,
I feel like they would
Anything?
probably be around the barrel.
just kind of
Yeah, so
Circled
probably
around.
Snow
Beau
on one
side.
side, Beau on the other, and then Viola pushing.
excellent? Beau, you are, I'm sure, fairly confident Viola can handle this wheelbarrow with Ste'yn in it, and you're keeping an eye out. You can see pretty quickly where these more treacherous bits of ground are. It's no issue, and you are able to give the others some heads up. Viola is struggling a bit, watching the wheelbarrow, keeping her attention on that, and making sure she's following your footing. There is one spot where, Viola, you find yourself misstepping. You feel one of your boots sink into what you thought was just ground, but it turned out to be a bit of a puddle there.
Also,
And-
just as a note, once we left the town, he did put mage armor on.
Excellent. Viola, as you splash a bit into this puddle, you're going to take 2 points of acid damage. You feel it, this pretty sharp sting on your leg.
This mud is acid. It hurts.
Well, be careful.
But after that one little incident, you know to keep an eye out a little closer. You move a little slower, just getting your footing, but Beau has a pretty good handle of where you guys might more easily find your footing. I need you all to please also give me a perception check, please. As you are making your way further, maybe another half hour goes by. Find yourselves going relatively north following this river.
18?
Perception, that's a 21.
Okay, 18,
14.
21. All three of you note that it really is a shame that Ste'yn is asleep, because where you have been seeing some logs that kind of pushed up against some shallow banks, you also note some things that have pushed up against these shallow banks that are decidedly not sticks. It looks like a more pale, just covered in muck kind of log. You determine quickly it is not a log at all, but rather what looks like bones.
Oh, okay.
Aw, Ste'yn's missing out on the skeletons.
Doesn't need more.
You spot some wayward bones that have brushed up. They look muck covered, like they've been there a minute. Some, you keep going, and just further ahead, not too much further, you see what looks like a bridge that could get you across this river. You do also spot some other strewn about little piles of bones. But otherwise, you do spot this bridge coming up in the not too
Are
far
they
distance.
like human bones or like animal bones or
Give me an investigation check if you want to look closer at the bones.
21?
The ones that you're coming across here are decidedly humanoid bones. And you also note that the closer you're getting in this direction as you're approaching this bridge, some of what you see are not just piles of bones, but you do see just a kind of crumpled up humanoid body that is mostly kind of drifted in the water, where this is now like a proper river crossing with just, one arm floating upwards, mostly decayed, it looks like, from time, from the elements. As you see more fully this bridge, and as far as it reaches to cross this river, the water, it crosses fairly high over this water. You can see where it is situated on the ground. You can see where the ground slopes, although it's still relatively dark, and then hits the water, and you see this sturdy-looking wooden bridge going across.
Do we feel concerned at all about the numerous amounts of human bodies and skeletons and things all around here?
No, particularly.
Not at all?
A storyteller would call that foreshadowing.
Does the body, like the body that we can see, does he look like just like a run-of-the-mill guy, or does he look like he was an adventurer that would look capable
What are you,
at
an
all? Like, is he wearing
anthropologist now?
armor? Okay, it's a body, it's not a skeleton. There's at least one body floating around in the river.
It looks like it doesn't look like they're some kind of trained soldier or scout or anything. It kind of looks like someone who might have just been journeying like any other travelers. And you do know that you have been told that the Verbolg colony has taken in people who were just traveling and needed a place to stay, though it could be a very ordinary person.
Well, they do just seem to be ordinary travelers, not quite as capable as handling themselves as we are. So maybe there's a troll on the bridge that we have to pay a toll to.
Well, if you want, I could sit on the wheelbarrow and look ahead with Claude.
Why do you have to sit?
They can't see or hear anything around me.
Well, we
So
can just
for-
stand here for a minute.
Okay.
I want to push both of y'all. This is heavy enough as it is.
I'm very light.
Is this familiar? Make my butt look fat.
Well, let's just stand here for a minute and have Claude go investigate.
Okay, Beau will have Claude fly ahead and look through Claude's senses.
Claude flies ahead. He stays out for as long as you have him summoned, right?
Yeah, unless he
Or-
dies.
Yeah, or anything like that. Yeah. He flies ahead, and you get this bird's eye view of the upcoming bridge, you can kind of see where there's a path, like a proper path, kind of forms, and the land looks relatively dry. Stooping towards the water, it starts to take on that mushy, marshy kind of look. The bridge itself does appear to have it, like it looks very sturdy. He sees a couple of things on top of the bridge. From his bird's eye view, he sees some more of these dead bodies, some more bones. You see some bones actually on the bridge itself. You also, that's out more towards the middle. We also see what appears to be some fish, some food, some almost like an offering maybe, that's sitting a little bit once you walk onto the bridge. There's this like pile of food. It looks like these fish in a little pile sitting there towards the front of the bridge. That is his kind of eagle eye view.
All right. He'll have Claude come back and then put him away. So there's nothing I can see as far as threat.
What did you see?
Just some fish on a bridge.
That's weird. Aren't they usually in the water?
Like dead fish.
Mayhaps an offering for a troll that lives under the bridge? Did you check under the bridge?
I mean, he was having him do surveillance. I assumed we just didn't hear anything about the bridge underneath it because there's nothing of note.
I should make assumptions. If you had him also swoop under, it doesn't start off with a lot of space, but space does become more prevalent closer towards the water. But if you had him look under too, he would see more of that mushy grass and such underneath. It does look a lot more watery under there. He sees it's a little bit unclear if he's just kind of flying quickly. It almost looks like maybe some rocks, some kind of larger stones, but like big underneath. Nothing is moving much except just this lapping of the water, which kind of obscures some vision there. Nothing seems to stand out immediately as far as like, ooh, something is threatening and moving.
Okay, then to answer Viola's question, no, there's no troll from what I can see.
We could add Ste'yn to the offering pile just in case there is a troll. That would appease him. I'm kidding, guys. Lighten up. Jeez, you're acting like we're surrounded by skeletons or something. Well, we have like two options. Either Snow could stay here with Ste'yn and Beau and I could go up and check it out, or all four of us can go up together.
Well, if something were to happen, I don't see Snow pushing Ste'yn out of whatever would be happening here.
I could keep her safe just fine.
Yeah, I think we should just all go together.
Onwards we go.
I'm here.
Are you trying to say
Snow,
something
just
to
so
us?
you're aware,
Oh, okay.
you're not allowed to just go off and die all whoopsie daisy because we don't have Ste'yn to bring you back. So make sure you're being extra careful.
Pretty sure I was the one who suggested being careful this morning, and it was the rest of you who were like, we're not doing that.
I think Snow would
You
be
need to
on
be
the
careful when
other
there's
side of
actual
him.
danger nearby.
So what you guys can see, so you've got like where you see more of this lighter grass and the dirt bit of path and vinage and all of that, you can kind of test it and see that it feels much more sturdy. And where it gets darker is where you've not been as sure it was as sturdy. It tends to be more mushy and difficult, you might say. Difficult terrain, you might say, walking through it. It's very marshy. You saw Claude had seen the fish that were piled up on the bridge. He had flown about, saw bones and such.
All right, well, I guess...
We approach the bridge.
Yeah.
Excellent. As you start approaching the bridge, the water from the river is fairly loud. It's moving pretty quickly. A lot of sounds that you were kind of getting accustomed to have started getting drowned out the closer you've gotten. And now you can see for yourselves where those piles of bones are, even on the bridge itself, and that little pile of fish. There is definitely an odor as you've gotten closer, and not just from the swampiness or even that, pile of fish. Like, there is an odor as you are getting closer that you can't quite put your finger on, but it definitely gets stronger the closer you get. But most sounds are getting a bit drowned out from the water and such.
Looking around, like 360, we don't see any changes though. Anybody approaching or anything like that?
You don't see anybody approaching, no.
You seem to have dropped
Okay.
Ste'yn.
Yeah, I can't move her.
Here. I'm going to give Viola also control of Ste'yn.
Ste'yn's just
You now have control.
I mean, let's just keep on trucking.
You said the
and
bridge is
then-
how long? 100 feet?
Yeah, so it's another or so. So it's another like 50 or 60 feet beyond the map.
See. Well, I could run across and see first.
Sure, why not?
All right. Yeah. No one was talking him down, so here I'll try running across.
Okay. You all, as you guys are getting closer, and Beau gets up onto the, like, right up by the bridge, gets ready to start barreling across, is when, Beau, give me a perception check.
That is an 18 or 24.
Scratch off your die. It's as you approach the bridge to get ready to dash across that you realize just how rank that smell has gotten. And it's not from, it cannot possibly just be from that pile of fish, although that you see now has probably been sitting there a little bit, and now you can kind of see a couple of the flies like spinning around it. But there is a distinct odor now closer to the bridge. You can't quite hear things, but something's causing something smelly.
Okay, and he doesn't see anything?
Not at your vantage point as is.
And how high up is this bridge?
Where you are right now, it's like, right there at the ground, but it looks like it goes at least 10 feet up over the
that's it?
water. 10, 15 feet over the water.
I guess he's going to begin going across it.
You step onto the bridge. You step, and you hear another, like, it almost sounds like another step, or like a knock. But where you step down, this knock seems to come from the bridge itself.
Wait, what do you mean?
So like you stepped, and the sound of your footstep, whatever it is, and there seems to almost be like a mimicking sound, like a knock.
Okay. And how continues walking?
You keep walking, and that is when you hear, because you're much closer now, you can hear a heavier kind of thud clearly coming from beneath this bridge. You can
Very
see
short
as
thing.
Mm-hmm.
it could be short, or what you can see, what the others can see, kind of coming out from underneath. It looks almost like a dark stone, a smooth stone, covered in this muck. But it starts to move and kind of roll itself out from under the bridge, as if it were laying. And as it comes out, hands and knees, big bulbous joints and appendages, still mostly humanoid looking, but very grotesque and pockmarked, this kind of deep gray skin and kind of tombstone-y teeth with some kind of sharper ones in there. You see what looks very much like an ogre coming out from underneath the bridge, spotting you still completely covered in this muck that seemed to be mostly hiding it. And another seems to be rolling out the other side, lifting itself up, seeing you, and immediately glaring. I need you all to roll initiative for me, please.
As soon as Viola sees that, she yells, "I knew there was a troll under the bridge!"
Technically, there's two.
Technically, I don't think it's a troll.
It looks trollish. Close enough for my likings. 16.
I got a 13.
Oh no, who could have foreseen us being attacked on the road like this?
I mean, we assumed this was happening. We're just
Yeah.
predicting that we can still tackle it without Ste'yn. You said you could protect her. She'll be fine.
Yeah, no one else seems to care about it, so.
I
All
pretend
right.
you didn't make that comment.
Okay, Snow.
11.
Ste'yn, I'm actually also going to have you roll initiative, please.
Watch Ste'yn gets the highest.
That's a 21.
Ste'yn, being unconscious as she is, being still in this kind of dream zone, this very peaceful, calm place, but that tension is still sitting back there. And even in your conversation with this kind of ongoing light conversation with Atala, where it feels like no time and all time is going at once, even there you are kind of aware of some kind of tenseness there. You're wrapping your mind around that. Viola, you're up.
Well, Viola will just step in front of her for now, and she will attack this guy right in front of her with her... Well, she's going to cast Hunter's Mark first, and she's going to shoot at him with her crossbow. That is a 21 to hit.
21 hits.
11 damage for that one, and then she... Wait, can she use her extra attack or no?
Did she take the heavy crossbow feat or crossbow expert? Then
No. But she can throw her dagger, right?
yeah, you should be able to do that if you want to lose it.
Okay, well,
Remember to
she'll...
pick it up
Well,
later.
I guess you can
Yeah.
try and fish
Pick it
out
up
of the
bluff
water.
later.
So she'll... Well, if I hit him, it's going to be in him.
Well, you're
It'll
gonna be at
easy to get back later.
disadvantage at this range.
Of course I rolled a nat 20 on one of them, but the other one was a 16, so that is... So 22 should hit.
22 hits.
His speed is reduced by 10. That is 10 damage. So
Okay.
21 total damage.
All right.
And that's her turn. Yeah, actually, she will go ahead and move. Use more of her movement to put some distance between Ste'yn and this guy.
All right. Our big Ophi ogre friend comes charging up. He's a big boy and looks very comfortable moving through the swamps and moving through the terrain. It's a little bit intimidating as you strike him and he seems very displeased. He lets out this roar, comes stomping forward. There's muck that's kind of just from the force kind of splashing out from his feet, just dirt and muck. And then he takes this leap forward, like he goes into this frenzy almost. The last bit of distance he closes between you is this angered jump with a club in his hands. He's going to try and hit you with this club, this great club of his. Oh, wow. Even with advantage. That stinks. That's only a 15 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. He's going to attack. That's better. The second one, while he looks slightly off balance, does come careening at you. That is 23 to hit.
Yep.
That is 13 bludgeoning damage as it cracks against you. That is going to be its turn. Beau.
Alright, so he's going to do the bonus action for his blade song, and then he's going to take an action and throw a psychic blade at the one in front of Viola.
Okay. You have advantage on this attack this turn.
Alright,
As you note, it seems to be kind of off balance a bit.
that is then a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
That's 15 psychic damage.
It lets out an even larger, even more crazed sounding roar.
Alright, and then he's just gonna move over to this side of the bridge, and that's his turn.
Snow.
Ste'yn, if you could wake up now, that would be really convenient. He's gonna grab her shoulder and just shake her a bit as he says that.
Okay.
Any reaction?
Not as it seems currently.
Okay, she is now invisible. Bonus action, I will give inspiration to Viola, and that is my turn.
The other ogre starts to move.
They're on the bridge?
Before it's technically on the bridge, it's gonna try and get up there. It's not that big, but it's still a difference. It's gonna have to boost itself. Oh yeah. Some movement is spent getting up and over. To you, Beau. He's going to swing his great club as well. Swing low. And being this close, Beau, you can see as he swings, that failed, but as he swings, the first time, you can see where this armor is on him. It looks kind of makeshift. Up close, it looks a lot less intimidating, but it's still like a solid hunk of some kind of wood covered in more of that muck. And it seems to be essentially just like tied to his arm. And you imagine the arms and the legs and what's around its chest are probably tied up similarly to him by a thick, but still some kind of natural, maybe a vine or something like that. He's gonna swing again. That one's a nat 20.
Silvery barbs.
Excellent. Who's getting advantage?
Oh.
Good, because that one failed miserably. That's only a 10 this time. Something about something made this thing swing, and weird distraction goes swinging wide. Maybe it just mistook
There's just
how
doing
short
seductive
Beau was.
stances at a distance behind Beau.
That is the ogre's turn. It is frothing, not frothing. The other one's kind of frothing at the mouth a bit. This one, it's just normal amounts of spittle. And that brings us back to Ste'yn. Ste'yn, there is around you that jarring is starting to become much more emphatic. The clashing of this warmth and this something trying to overwhelm it. Can you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
Why wisdom?
Your favorite.
That's a 10.
Fantastic. Boy, something's going on. But also, when's the last time you had a one-on-one with your goddess? This is like maybe the best day of
smell's
your
not
life so
getting
far.
through.
It's not, but wait till it does.
Okay, well, she's gonna whack at this guy in front of her.
Okay.
With her her rapier is first. That is
This is the one who is looking
15?
suddenly 15 to hit. 15 does not hit.
So she'll use her inspiration. 23.
23 hits.
Boop, boop. Thank you, Snow. So that is these two. That is 12. And then
What type of damage is it?
that is piercing.
Okay. You're stabbing at the one that is like frothing at the mouth. Seems when it lunged at you, it seemed absolutely, well, actually, after it got hit by Beau and Beau's attention, it seems to be just enraged, a fury in its eyes. It seems to be withstanding your blow a little better than it did the first time.
Correction, 4 of that is force damage. Hunter's mark is force damage.
It would be half of the piercing. So that would
okay.
be 8 piercing
So-
and then 4. Okay, so it's taking
Yes.
4.
8 total damage.
4 and 4 instead. Okay, yep, perfect. Thank you.
So then she'll attack with her short sword, and her rapier has Vex, so she gets advantage on this.
Ooh. Is at a disadvantage for attack rolls against it for this round.
That is 19.
A 19 will hit.
That is 6 force damage and 1 piercing damage. And then she'll use her extra attack to attack with her rapier. That is 25 for that one. Oh no, wait, that's a crit. I crit on a 19. I forgot.
Yep.
I'm a champion fighter. So for the piercing damage, it is 8, so 4. And then for the force damage, it is 8.
It still looks real mad. It still looks ready to
That's
fight.
all she got.
It is back to its turn. You see it reach up with its great club, and it takes it in both hands. You can see its muscles seem to like tense up as it brings it back down on you. That's another 23 to hit. That is 19 points of bludgeoning damage. And I need you to make me a strength saving throw. I came
24.
to the conclusion and did not share it. 24? Okay. For just a split second, you're seeing stars, but you are able to keep your footing. It is not enough to knock you prone. It's gonna stay put, less frothy at the mouth, but still angry. Beau.
All right, so with this one in front of him, Beau is going to do Vengeful Blade with his scimitar on it. Does a 16 hit?
A
With
16.
I did roll with it.
A 16 precisely hits.
Oh, nice. All right. So to separate out the damage, the first will be slashing. That is 13 slashing damage, and then 6 necrotic damage. And if the target makes an attack or casts a spell before my next turn, it takes 2d8 necrotic damage. Then I'm going to use the nick feature on his dagger, so he's going to do that attack. That does not make it. That was a nat 1. He's just going to stay there for now.
Snow.
I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on the one engaged with Viola. So that is a Wisdom saving throw.
Just the wisest creatures. That's a 2.
It takes 13 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction to move as far away from me as it can using the safest route.
All right, so it's full movement away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It starts running back towards its little hidey hole. So he's underneath the bridge.
I don't know if it changes anything, sorry, but Viola would take attack of opportunity unless someone told her not to.
Yeah.
It's a 12, doesn't hit.
12 does not hit.
Bonus action, I'm gonna give Bardic Inspiration to Ste'yn this time. Singing, Ste'yn, wake up. I don't like this. And that is it.
Anything else?
Nope.
Bridge Ogre. He is going to attempt to grab you, Beau. There's going to be a contested strength.
So got 4.
Okay. He has a 16. He's going to grab you, Beau, being much bigger than you are. And get out here with Beau. And he is going to then let him go. He's going to drop Beau off of the side of this bridge, splashing into a significant amount of this water. It is thinking of 5 acid damage as you are dropped into a nice fat puddle.
Beau's gonna do absorb elements,
Okay.
and so he is only going to take half of that acid damage.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
So that's only
never mind. I am not going to do that. And second thought, because it's not that much
Interesting.
damage, and I realize that these things live in this, so I don't think attacking them with acid damage is going to be very effective. So I take it back.
no JKLOLOL. And that's going to be his turn. Ste'yn.
Yes, ma'am.
The feeling is just encroaching on you. Can you please give me another wisdom saving throw, please?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, that's much better. That's a 24.
Fantastic. You feel this tension that's really starting to get overwhelming and distracting to your conversation with Atala. And she looks at you for a moment as if reading this thought.
I hope you'll come see me again soon, sister.
I will. It won't be long.
The light kind of encompasses you a little more fully, and you feel that sense again, like a sweet pat on the head. Close your eyes and enjoy it for a moment. And when you open your eyes, you are first bombarded with how bright it is, despite, like, it's this awkward, pale kind of brightness in this kind of cloudy swamp. The second thing that bombards you is this smell. There's this rancid, smelly, sweaty smell of gross. The third thing you note is that you are not on your feet. You're barely on your back. You're kind of in this awkward, strewn out position.
Picture like a turtle on its back.
Yeah, it's like a turtle on your back. You're a little bit foggy as far as kind of coming to, and you steadily start to realize you are a little familiar with this exhaustion about you. You are currently suffering 2 levels of exhaustion. You are prone, but it is still your turn. You will have the use of your turn.
Cool.
As you realize, you look around. You can see yourself. The others can't see you. You don't realize you're also invisible.
She just takes in the scene for a second, and then she's gonna cast a guiding bolt on the ogre. Just like wake up, sort of sit up a little bit in the wheelbarrow, take in the scene, realize her friends are being attacked, and we're just going right to action.
You have advantage because you're invisible.
Great. That's a 19 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
18 radiant damage. And he is now glowing, and the next attack gets advantage on him.
It is glowing, and it also lets out this infuriated, raging scream.
Oh, shut up. I seem to have missed a lot.
Oh, not that much. It's just a typical day for us.
Right. And that's her turn. She's not going to use a bonus action this round.
Staying in the wheelbarrow.
She just sort of sits like cross-legged in it.
Okay. She's starting to make her way up the bridge. She can't make it all the way though, so she's going to crossbow at this guy. Ooh, that's another crit, baby. So that is...
And also, because you got a critical, you can move half of your damage without provoking opportunity attacks. I mean, half of your movement. So you were trying to get closer, you can move.
Yeah, we'll move up there. Why not? 14.
14, what type of
Because
damage?
piercing, so 7.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, she has Hunter's Mark on the other guy that's hiding.
If you use your bonus action to do second wind, you can also move another half of your speed. So you can close the gap if you heal yourself.
Oh yeah, she'll
We
do
know how to
that.
play
Oh, yeah.
D&D.
So she gets back 15 hit points.
Nice.
And then she's going to use her extra attack to whack this guy. It's a 20! And I'm not even rolling with advantage like I should be! That's 15 damage, piercing, all of it.
Anything else, Viola?
Nope, that was everything.
Beau, who is, well, it's not your turn, Beau, but beneath the bridge, now less Pia's pants scared, is the first ogre that had left from Snow's Dissonant Whispers come back towards you, pushing himself past the legs of the bridge and coming at you with the great club. That is a 25 to hit.
All right.
It's going to be 12 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
As he swings it back around. For less, that is only a 9 to hit, which is much less exciting. But that is his turn, which brings us to you, in fact.
All right. So for his bonus action, he's going to disengage, and then he's going to run up the beam that's right by him, up to the railing here.
That's with his spidery abilities of
Yes.
being able to climb things without
Yeah,
climbing.
so he's gonna run up, and then he'll be on the railing, and then he's going to swing at this guy with Vengeful Blade again.
Okay, go for it.
And he still has advantage on this from his state. He's frenzied.
Yes, he is frenzied.
All right, so the first one is 22.
Mm-hmm.
hit.
That'll do it.
So that is going to be 11 slashing damage, and then 8 necrotic damage. And then he's going to use his Nick feature to attack with his dagger, which is an 18. Oh shoot, I just realized I didn't add 3 to the slashing damage. I didn't add his dex to it.
Oh, okay.
And then that's 5 with the dagger.
Piercing.
And then he's going to run along the railing behind Viola.
Viola just sticks an arm out, like...
He'll go a little bit farther.
Snow.
We're gonna do Vicious Mockery at this guy up on top of the bridge.
Okay.
So I need another wisdom save.
I love those for them.
Cat's gonna have all sorts of things happen if he attacks somebody.
It's 11.
He would take 8 points of psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Anything else?
That's my turn.
Fantastic. Which is now this big buddy's turn anyway. Cool. He big mad. That similar scream that Viola you had first heard when it came kind of charging and leaping forward. You see that same leap, but past you and towards Beau, who just looks like a fun treat. Beau be looking like a snack.
Yeah, he does.
He lands very hard on the bridge.
And
You
goes
hear
through
those.
Glad it's dirty.
Good thing it's 30.
He just goes
For now.
right down.
You do hear the planks creaking as he comes down. And Beau, you see him take the great club, kind of overheading with it. And you see his muscles are just tensed up. Like you can see all of the veins like popping as he brings this great club down on you.
And it now takes 11 necrotic damage.
Why, Die? Why?
The choices you made.
You know? That is only a 9, which is super duper unfortunate. I really want this attack to land. But alas, it does not, and it brings this great club down just right past you. and it does manage to kind of shear off a part of the one of the pillars on the bridge. Not enough to destabilize it, but it was a very heavy hit, is what you note there.
I guess Beau just kind of stepped to the side when he's
like,
since he's on the
No,
railing.
Ste'yn, we're at the top of the round. Back to you.
Ste'yn sees that most people have moved on to the bridge at this point, so she's going to...
We as a society have decided.
Bridge party!
She'll use some of her movement to get up and out of the wheelbarrow.
I'll allow it to just be normal
She
halves.
uses her wings just to fly out of it.
I'm tempted.
Gotta be as dramatic as possible.
And then she's just gonna walk over here, and she is going to cast another guiding bolt at... We'll do the fella down here, off the bridge.
Excellent.
That is a dirty 20 to hit,
30-20 hits.
and that is 14 radiant damage. And he is now glowing. The next attack against him has advantage. And that's her turn.
Viola.
Is this boy tall enough that he is within 5 foot of reach of me? 10-foot bridge.
Yes.
Sweet.
He's no less than 7. He's like 7.5, 8 feet. Big old boy.
Wonderful. So she's gonna swing at him with her rapier, and it's advantage, correct?
Yeah.
First attack's advantage.
21,
That hits.
8 piercing, 5 force. And then she's gonna swing at him again. Is he in his rage still? Does she get her, like, the advantage, whatever, from that, like, from before?
No, he's not the one raged.
That's
There's
a
a threshold.
24.
That hits.
That is 5 piercing and 2 force. And then she's
Okay.
gonna use her extra attack with her rapier again. Oh, I thought that was a crit. It was just the light, the shadow made the 10 look like a 19. It's a 16.
16 just hits.
That is 7 piercing and 6 force. How's he looking?
It is looking pretty unhappy. You're seeing it it's not standing up
When has
full
he ever
height
looked
as
happy?
it once. You know, its rage is its happiness, okay? We don't judge.
She's gonna action surge then, and she will attack once more with her rapier. So that one's a 17
That hits.
for 9 damage. And then it's a crit.
22.
Yes. It is not dead.
It is not dead, but it is
Rude.
potentially wishing it were, or at least that it could make one of you feel like how it's feeling right now.
How dare it not
To
die?
the grave very soon. Don't worry.
Okay, that's all she's got.
That's going to make it this very unhappy boy's turn. Viola, can you please give me a strength check? This is going to be contested as he grabs at you.
That is an 18.
Ooh, that is not. Well,
Well,
that is better than it rolled. Unfortunately.
Oh, I can add.
wait,
you don't need to.
You don't
You're
need
good.
to. You're good.
Oh, okay.
That is better than it rolled.
I thought you said that was not.
It was sounding like that was the
going to be-
direction
it
she
is
was
not-
going.
You all can see as it's essentially attempting to retaliate, trying to grab at her legs to pull her or something, but it cannot get a grip. I'm going to come over here.
He's passing Beau. Does Beau get an attack of opportunity?
You
Well,
know,
he also
honestly, at this
left
point,
Viola's thing. Couldn't
Oh, yeah,
Viola get an
too.
attack of opportunity
True.
as well?
I feel like we would both have an
Could, you both
opportunity then.
could. Oh,
Sweet.
definitely
So
could.
another vengeful
already
blade from
determined.
him.
Go for it.
19 damage.
You stab at it, and as it's running past, and it lets out another scream of anger as it seems to disregard you and then goes past Beau.
And that center would take another 15 damage.
That one needs to be split up.
That was 8 slashing and then 7 necrotic. So 11 altogether.
You attack it, and it looks like it doesn't care as it goes barreling past you as well, Beau, but it doesn't get far not another few steps before its body cannot ignore, despite the rage, that it has no life left in it and collapses to the ground. Almost like it's reaching out, like it was getting ready to attack Ste'yn. It's fine.
And then it
They
would have
just
taken
sorta
more necrotic
puts her hand
damage.
down. Says good night.
It is Dan. Beau, it is your turn.
Alright, and then this guy's got like nothing fancy going on or whatever.
Not currently.
Beau is going to use his bonus action to give himself steady aim and then attack with advantage. And that's 16, so meets
16
it.
hit.
That'd be 17 slashing and then 7 necrotic. And then he's going to go at it with his dagger.
The slashing, and you hear it scream. And at this point, you know that scream.
Yeah, so that's going to be
Bit mad
17
boy.
with the dagger, so that hits. So that's going to just be 2 damage total because I got 4 damage. So half of it.
Okay.
And that's his
You
turn.
big and
He
mad.
cannot move.
Okay. Snow, what you got?
Casually walk back over to Ste'yn, give her a bit of a side hug. Glad you're up. And then look back at the last remaining enemy and call out, but I'd rather you were not up. And I needed to make a wisdom saving throw against another vicious mockery.
That is a 16.
It will take 3 points of damage. Psychic.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Big boy. Yeah, he's gonna do his big club
Alright, and that's going to be 13 necrotic damage.
for Viola. 25 to hit.
Yes.
Cool. 15 bludgeoning damage. And I need you to make me a strength saving throw.
Ooh, that's a 9.
You used to have your
Oh, man.
heroic inspiration?
Oh yeah.
Now might be the time.
Oh my gosh.
19.
19. That is a success. Gonna hang. It's Ste'yn's turn again.
Cool. She's going to return Snow's hug, and then she will cast Toll the Dead. So I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Excellent. You know he loves these.
Oh, I know. Ste'yn loves them too.
That's an 8.
Excellent. It's going to take 2d12 damage. That's 19 necrotic damage. The ringing of the bell commands you to die. That is her turn.
Viola.
So she's gonna use her bonus action to move Hunter's Mark to this guy, now that the other guy is dead, and she's gonna swing at him.
Okay. You do see him
Ooh.
froth and mad, so keeping in mind.
That is not gonna make it. Ooh, and her second one misses too.
Oh,
She's
yay.
struggling.
Okay, anything else?
Ah, that's all she's got.
All right. Beau.
Alright, so
Show
Beau's
her
gonna
up.
do the steady aim again.
Okay.
So he's got advantage. It's 24.
24 hits.
It's 15 slashing, and then 6 necrotic, and then he's gonna try and stab him. And that one's gonna miss. That's only a 13.
Okay. But it is frightfully mad at your attack.
And that's his turn.
Snow. It looks very unhappy and very hurt.
Vicious mockery. Go away.
You stink.
Wisdom. That's an 8.
It takes 3 points of psychic damage. And it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Thank you for sparing him to give him one last opportunity. He is going to turn to you, Viola, and he's going to attempt to grab you one more time.
Oh, he's grabbing.
It'll be a
That's-
contested strength. We're switching dice. In fact, we're pulling out the big guns.
19.
Oh boy. Let's go. Final bit of
So she
death toll
failed?
strength. Yes. He
Okay,
would
so
have-
she would like to use her tactical mind to try and add a d10. Ooh, 29.
That'll do it. That'll do it. He lunges towards you to grab at you. You're easily able to, not easily,
She outwits
you are
it.
able to kind of elbow your way out of it. That he's not able to get a hold in order to drag you somewhere. He's gonna swing his great club.
Sweet. Then here comes the necrotic.
Kill him in the act of swinging.
That
Yeah,
is
literally.
5 necrotic damage.
Beautiful. He tries to grapple with Viola, can't get a hold of her, screams in a rage, swings his great club towards Beau, and Beau again just watches it like
Beau?
whiff. Oh yeah. He doesn't like either of you. Watches it whiff, but he doesn't come back to a full stop on his feet. He kind of spins with it and then collapses with an enormous thud against the bridge that also causes some of the planks to moan kind of as they're creaking against his sudden, very heavy weight. And that is the
And
end
thank
of
goodness his bridge
that
is so
guy.
steady.
And behind getting the real barrel over
It is
that.
If I were describing this bridge, I would describe it as sturdy many times in a row, to be fair.
The sturdy bridge.
I think you're
Bridge,
right.
that is
I
sturdy.
feel personally attacked!
Bridge
Listen,
that
do
has
you want it to be
love.
cheekbones or do you want it to be sturdy? Pick one.
Both
those
at the
the
same
only-
time. I want a sturdy bridge with nice cheekbones.
There are bones.
Just you wait, the next
It's
bridge
got
will be a
legs.
mimic with really nice cheekbones.
Viola looks
There's
down
already
and one of
bones
the
on the bridge.
skeletons, she can just tell really nice cheekbones on that skeleton.
Super nice cheekbones. You are out of initiative at this point.
Well, Viola's
I
gonna
feel
go
like
get her
there's-
dagger back from this guy.
Oh yeah. I feel
Excellent.
like there's probably not much that he's gonna find, but he's gonna look over the body anyway.
Of the ogre?
Yeah.
Sure,
Viola
do an
is gonna look
investigation
at
check.
Snow too and say, I told you that the threat of danger would wake her up. It was all a part of the plan.
You
Snow is
Planned.
ignoring her and looking over Ste'yn.
plan to get attacked by ogres.
No, we planned to go on our merry way, knowing that that danger would find us and wake you up.
I
This
see.
was their plan, not mine.
And
For
it
the
worked,
record.
didn't it? She didn't get touched. She's awake. I'd say that's a win-win.
Right. I'm glad things turned out okay. Anyone need healing?
I could use some.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Ste'yn is
Alright.
going to cast Mass Healing Word to get both of them.
Oh,
in
dang.
one. Y'all are gonna take. Oh, that's max healing. 13 hit points back.
Nice.
Are you okay? You look a little shaky on your feet.
I'm tired. But I'm.
How can you still be tired? You slept for ages.
Don't ask me how this sort of thing works.
That stupid
But I'll be
plant
alright.
that you ate.
No, that was.
Yeah, no, we
I will
don't.
say-
We don't do that anymore.
You're one to talk eating everything you find in the Fey realm. Okay, maybe
And
not
this
everything,
didn't happen.
but
I stand by the decision I made when I took the vial. The repercussions are not the most fun, but they're manageable.
something
Not
you're
saying you
used
should
to.
regret it. I'm just saying for future, maybe don't do this.
I mean, it did give me the best sleep I've had since I can remember, which was nice.
Well, that's good to know.
Was it a good conversation too?
It was.
I'd like to hear the rest of the story. I left in at kind of a cliffhanger.
She looks at the others to see if they're as confused as she thinks they probably are. As
Yeah,
Sam's talking
Viola
about-
looks super confused.
Beau's not. Oh, he got a 23 on the investigation.
Okay. Yeah, it's not much. It looks like there's some, it might have collected some stuff maybe after dinner of whatever those other humanoid bone piles were. But you do find a small bit of gold, or you find you find 4 gold pieces. You find another 3 silver pieces on it. And you do find a couple of what appear to be some small gold bracelets that somehow
many?
ended up, we'll say 2. 2 gold bracelets. One of them was wedged in an unseemly place.
Ew.
It's an ogre. What do you want?
Do they seem to have any kind of magic in them?
Just by looking at them, they just look like bracelets. Some pretty designs on it that are all
If you did like
caked
an
up with mud.
Arcana check on it.
You can do an Arcana check.
That is a 16 or
Okay.
17.
16 is fine. Nothing about any of the design or the shape or anything else about it seems to indicate magic per se. Just looks like a pretty bracelet. 2 pretty
Okay.
bracelets that have seen better days.
Right.
Anything else you guys are doing here by the bridge? By the toll
Um,
bridge?
We do need to keep that wheelbarrow with us, by the way.
All right.
It's a rental.
I mean, I'm fine with pushing it still. How much did you have to rent it for?
I talked him down from 15 gold
15 gold?
to 2 gold.
That's a
That is
I was
wild that
very
he thought this was
aggressive.
worth 15 gold.
For
Apparently,
15 gold, you can just buy a carriage.
I told him, well, yes, that, basically.
Well, I'm
Must be a
fine with
special
pushing the
wheelbarrow.
barrel. Ste'yn, if you want to continue to ride, I'm happy to continue pushing you.
You should, if you're exhausted, sit down.
You get another short rest in.
She'll sit
She
in
needs more
the
than that.
wheelbarrow. She looks much more comfortable sitting herself than being sprawled out in it.
Now I don't have to stop and give you a little smacky smacks on the cheeks anymore.
You... Goodness.
I had to
The
try to
cheeks
wake
are
you up
looking a little-
somehow.
Her cheeks are looking a little rosy.
I appreciate the effort.
See, it's giving you a nice flush. It looks like nice natural beauty to add to your already beautiful natural beauty. I'm assuming that after she sat, we are getting
Okay.
on the move on our way.
I
Crossing the
assume
bridge
nothing
as we
anymore.
came to it.
You begin wheeling Ste'yn in a very royal manner in her very royal wheelchair. There don't appear to be other interruptions. The river is moving pretty quickly. Even you note as you pass over it, the spray itself, it feels different. Everything here just kind of feels, smells, just in general different, and not necessarily positively. It's not really a refreshing kind of sound of the river, it's not a refreshing anything. And as you cross over to the other side, you're back in more of that swampy ground, and the trees are starting to come back the longer you walk. Even in some areas, they felt kind of limp and weeping, and as you continue down this path, semi-man-made, kind of natural-made, you start to notice that the trees are becoming a little more thick, a little sturdier. It feels a little less marshy than it was earlier. This ground is more stable. It even looks a little bit more lush in this area. The trees are taller. It feels a little more vibrant, a little more lifelike, almost as if you're heading towards sort of an oasis. Simultaneously, I need you all to give me a perception check, please.
We're gonna spam that guidance.
18?
That is a total of... It would be 34, but I gotta subtract 4, so we're at 30.
I got a 10. If Ste'yn's
Dirty
awake, Beau
20.
doesn't really care about perceiving.
Dirty 20. You guys note, again, it does seem to be getting more lush in this area. But Ste'yn, you easily point out that it's momentary. It's maybe just this patch, because what really stands out is that you realize all of the flora and such that actually looked like it's just damp swamp earthiness. There's that strange feeling, that less refreshing. It wasn't just not refreshing, it was almost damaging. Like, you didn't necessarily want to spend a lot of time in wherever you are in this swamp area. Everything feels a little bit deadly, like it's decaying, like it's rotting. You are much more easily able to dodge the pools of water, and you mean to, because you can see, like you had seen before, kind of those swirling greenish toxic-y color. You can see it more in the pools that you've passed to reach this area. And even on closer look in this lush green of the grass here, on closer inspection, it's not so much that it's lush, it's almost too green. And there's like a sickening kind of color just in the dirt alone. The trees, tall, that you're coming across, the bark looks like it's trying to hold on against what you can now see mainly in the roots, but reaching up into the tree trunks. Between the bark, you can see more of the shades of green. Something feels toxic in this area, like it's been building up, and the trees have just been devouring it over some time. This area feels like it has been decaying. It's been dying. Something is appearing to poison it, in a way. You go a little bit further, and you now see there's an area ahead where the trees are almost too perfectly lined in this enormous circle. And through that circle, you can see this really lovely shimmer. It's the first kind of nice thing you've seen in a minute. There's water beyond it. And you've reached the edge of a large lake. The water is like pristine. It's almost as if it's catching rays of light through the clouds that otherwise it should not be able to naturally catch. It's like a small oasis is what it looks like. If you approach close enough, you can even see almost perfectly your own reflection. Very much like when you were in the Fey realm looking in that river. This water just reflects back so beautifully. And across this large lake is where you see this one tree that seems to stand out even among these other large, holding on for dear life trees. It is twisted in a way the others are not. Its roots seem to come out almost like appendages, firmly planted into the dirt, into the ground. You can even see some of the roots dipping into the lake. But it is enormous. A massive, massive tree. What you can see a little clearer is a cutout at the base of it. At least 20 feet high, this cutout. An almost perfect arch leading into a dark space of that tree. As you realize you've reached the lake. You've reached the area that you had seen on the map, and what seems to be fitting of what Pernorin had described as part of his tale of the swamp. And you can also hear and sense around you movement, things in the swamp around you. Could just be natural animal sounds and animal movements, but something in your gut tells you other things are interested in this area. Not all of them friendly. Probably few of them friendly. And with that discovery, we're going to end tonight's session at the Mirror Lake. Thank you from all of us here at Tales from the Catacombs. Catch up and recapture your favorite moments by subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you journeying with us to bring clean content to the world of tabletop RPGs. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We are well over 200 subscribers now. And we're in the new year, which means after all the very exciting stuff happening in a month, and when Catherine gets her life back together in some kind of routine and fashion, we're gonna have a super exciting marathon-ish one-shot. That's it's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. I'm actually like stupidly excited for this. Stupidly excited. So stick around for that, because we can only do that because of you guys subscribing and liking and sharing. We've had like 2 or 3 people who found us just from the algorithms, and we appreciate that. You can help with the algorithms by leaving a comment below. 1, let us know what you think about this session. 2, let us know what one of your goals is for the new year. Comments. There you go. And a particularly huge thanks to my players whose links are in the description below. Please take a moment to follow these tremendous people and their exciting endeavors. Wily David, who plays Wily Beau, are fantastic. I feel like Beau reminded me of like a ribbon dancer in this session. The way he was like balancing on the beam in the thing, it was fantastic. I thought of my childhood. Anyway, Wily Beau, Catherine, who plays sleepy and fabulous Ste'yn, Kassie, who plays deadly adorable Viola, and Josh, who plays actually deadly, deadlier than you imagined, purely psychically, Snow. Hi, I'm Brenna. I'm your storyteller for this adventure, and we'll see you back here next time. Safe travels and Happy New Year until we meet again.